remember, savage traveler, pick my teeth with the bones of cadavers.
Hey y'all, Super X here. Still running my older video camera, but the other one I think I'm going to try and sneak out and get it later today, or hopefully this weekend, so when all that stuff from Rob gets here I can roll it. But I wanted to do a little video now that the bottom fed Odin is out, rather than just my modded Odin. There's a bottom fed Odin on one of these and a modded bottom fed Odin on the other. There's a Loki Lab router drip tip on there too. There is really very little difference between the two, but I just thought it would be cool to take you through it and show you how they all go down and all that stuff. They both vape pretty much identical. Build them to vape pretty much identical. Running unflavored juice in my mods. We're going to put them on these two right here, low profile Rio Grandes, to run them through their paces. But first I'd like to show them to you. So in order to do that, we're going to do a little camera angle change here, so stand by 1 second while I figure this little bad boy out. Alright, well there they are. On this side you will find the bottom fed version that comes from Loki Lab, identified by that BF. And on this side is the bottom fed version that was modded by a good friend of mine on ECF. These drip tips do not come with the Odin, but I'd highly recommend them. They are just bad ass. I mean, nice big old wide bore through the drip tip. They're solid, just as solid as the Odin. But comparing, let's start with the bottoms. You can see that these two atomizers are modded very similar. Almost identical. A hole right through the center post that's bored through, and then it comes up. One of them I have built, I just unwicked it, and then it comes up. I'm going to show you that in more detail. The top, everything about the Addy is identical. The top caps are identical. You get the same killer engravings on them, same air slots. Other than the way the center post is drilled, it's an identical atomizer. But whether it's bottom fed or non-bottom fed. So the dripping version versus the non-dripping version. The bottom fed version, you're not going to find a whole bunch of difference other than the bottom fed magic, which that's the way to roll, unless you like dripping. Let me just go ahead and screw these onto some mods, and we'll take them at the next step. Okay, so on this side, the factory bottom fed Odin from Loki Lab. On this side, the modded one, the one that's built, that one I've already built. Now, we've kind of talked about this atomizer already, but let's talk about a couple more things again in case this is your first time digging into the Loki Labs Odin. All stainless steel. Notice that there's no posts for negative, it's wire capture. Now don't let that confuse you with winding the wire around and having to do anything funky with it. You just simply loosen this screw, the wire comes through, and you tighten the screw down on top of the wire. Very simple. Center post has a nice generous size hole in it for your wire capture. You got a dual coil air slots here, one on each side, and then there's a single coil. And when you put the cap on, it's ingeniously designed so you can run it with a single coil and single AFC. That it is an AFC Addy. Again, I can't express enough the heft and the burliness of this Addy. It's a beast. So now you'll notice, I hope you can see there, but down here on the bottom of the feed post is a little hole where bottom feed comes through. It comes through both sides, and notice that these cups are interconnected. I heard a term that allows the juice to equalize between the two. It's awesome. Now it feeds and drains awesomely. So you can see on this built one, I just got a dual coil setup, but same thing. You got your little holes down at the bottom. It was modified identically, basically. I had it a couple weeks before the bottom fed version came out. The bottom fed version's out, and it's pretty much the way anybody would mod one of these. So let me show you how it feeds. So I'm going to press the juice bottle. You'll see juice comes up, and you could just keep going. I mean, by now, you have pretty much wet. If you had a wick in there, you could just bring it all the way up, basically to the air holes, and then you'll see the beauty of it. It evacuates. What that evacuation does is it leaves just your coil nice and wet. I'm sorry, your wick nice and wet and ready to vape. Doesn't leave a big puddle of juice in there to smother your coil and drown it and make it anemic. Here's this other modded one. You're going to see the same thing. It just fills up and it evacuates. And then it's pretty much, that's it. Let's go through that a couple times. Those of you guys dripping that are still like dripping through the top of your atomizer, I kind of almost either A, feel sorry for you, or B, maybe I'm just missing some kind of coolness factor that allows you to have to carry around a little bottle of juice and drip into something when you could just have your juice and your mod. Kind of like, see that juice and that mod? You know what I'm saying? So this is the way to go, because you could take this anywhere, fill it, you're wetting whenever you want to. You're not having a bunch of excess juice sitting in there pooling up. You're not getting dry hits because, again, you're wetting whenever you want to. It's evacuating. And I hear this, oh, but it contaminates the juice in the bottle. No, it doesn't. You're wetting the bottom of your wick or up to the bottom of your wick. There's none. If you're contaminating the juice in your bottle with your squonks, you're not doing it right. You're just not doing it right. I've squonked all day, and these juice bottles are, let me see if I can untighten this view a little. All day, every day, 6 milliliter bottle. I mean, look at that. It's crystal. This is clear juice to begin with, but there is the contamination thing. I don't know where that came from. That it back feeds into there, and like what goes in must go down. Okay. Well, what's all over your hands is all over your dripper too, and what's all over your dripper is all over your hands and your car. But I'm just trying to demonstrate how cool these bottom-fed Odins are. As you can see, they rock. They completely rock. This built one, as you can see, is just waiting to be wicked, much like these ones here already are. So I'm just gonna pull off them a little bit. So there's a bottom fed Odin, Phillips head screws, easy to work on. Looks, in my opinion, off the freaking chain. It's just a really slick looking atomizer. That's why I went ahead and picked up 4 of them, because not only does it look slick, it vapes as good as I could request anything I own to ever vape. It blows away, in my opinion. Remember, you're going to need a low profile ground or a mod like this Oliver that doesn't have any limiting factor. It blows anything else I've vaped, and I've vaped chalices, pretty much cyclones, that thing called an Aero BF, pretty much any of the bottom fed addies that are worth its name in salt, I've vaped them. Never vaped any clones, haven't really been into it. But this thing, there's a reason I got 4 of them and paid for all 4 of them, because they kick ass. Again, you're not going to get the same vape as you do on a little addy with this Odin. It's going to produce a whole lot of vapor. It's very easy to build. You're not dealing with the tiny chamber. Very easy to whip. Very easy to keep clean. Sturdy as all get out. AFC. It's about what I can say about it. I would try hard to get me a bottom fed Odin. I'd try real hard right now to get me a Rio Grande. This mod right here, you can get. I suggest you get on the list. It's P-Dib Oliver, but it's about 2 years out. So good luck. I'd get on the list and wait. When your day comes, you're going to be overjoyed. But right now, the Rio Grande is the way to roll. I would have Rio Grandes whether I had Olivers or not. This is a killer mod, but you can't be without your metal Rios. You just can't. So that's the deal on the bottom fed Odins, the router drip tip, killer combination. The Odin comes from this place right here. If you can read this, the white part, Loki Lab. Loki Lab kicks ass. So do their products, in my opinion. And I'll buy them all. I'm not looking for any swag. So you guys have a great day. See ya.